ब्रह्मचर्यव्रती दंडी सर्ववेदान्तपण्डित श्रीमद्विवेकयोगी मां प्रचोदयतु सर्वदा. So Sri Ramakrishna teaches us how to put the one before the zeros. All our great teachers have warned us again and again how the wonderful faculties which we have, we use them for acquiring knowledge, wealth, etc., which are all zeros. So that is why Vairagya or non-attachment is the most important criterion to measure the worth of a sadhaka. According to the Hindu tradition, tyagene gena mridatvamanasya, the level of tyaga. And tyaga also, not giving up material wealth or things like that, but the most difficult thing to give up, that is our ego. Totally devoid of ego, then only we can aspire to get the glimpses of that knowledge supreme. So, the Shastras emphasize that be aware of the senses. They have a tendency always to rush towards sense objects, seeking pleasure, enjoyment, satisfaction at the sensual level. So be aware of that. That is one way in which we can fine-tune the instrument of our mind to go into the meditation level. And Shastras also say there are 4 disciplines to be practiced. What are the 4 disciplines? First, discrimination between the real and the unreal. In our classical literature, the swan, the Hamsa, is credited with the power of discriminating between water and milk. If we give watery milk to the swan, it will take only the milk and leave the water. So, in the same way, the Shastras say, our mind should be tuned to discrimination between the real and the unreal. We come across knowledge, come across things, come across experiences. In everything we should be able to stand apart and look at it, whether it is really wanted for me. Will it really take me to the Lord? Will it help me to reveal the truth? So, that sort of a discrimination between the real and the unreal. Then, as I said earlier, the sense of renunciation, the capacity to renounce the unwanted. And then the 6 treasures of virtue beginning with tranquility, Shad Sampati, and Mumukshutva, the yearning for liberation. But these are the days when we hardly come across people who can be credited with these 4 disciplines. Even if the other disciplines are there, who cares for moksha or liberation? Hardly anybody. So, this mumukshutva is, what does it mean? Complete freedom. As we have seen, as a drop of water gets into the atmosphere to be one with the Akasha. Who wants that? We are happy with our intellect, holding on to little knowledge, bits of knowledge, tidbits of knowledge, and we are happy at it. No, that is not. So, this mumukshutva, we must be able to give up all desires for enjoyment, either in this life or the next. All enjoyments of this life are in vain, mithya. Jagat mithya. All desires are mithya. Let them come and go as they will. They are not going to be, they may come and go. As King Janaka reveals in his talks, I am living here. Any amount of luxury, enjoyment, everything is there. But my mind is not at all there. And be sure that whatever we have achieved through our past actions, they will remain with us. Nobody can take them away. So go on accumulating this little treasures of mental capacities, so that finally we will be able to absorb the real truth into us. If we have really deserved something, it will come to you. Swamiji emphasizes that. Then Swamiji talks about the types of truths which are available before us. There are truths that are true only in a certain line, in a certain direction, under some circumstances, and for certain times. We can talk about them as vyavaharika, which are the truths which we use in our general life, those that are founded on the institutions of the times. But there are other truths which are based on the nature of man himself. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So that is the truth which we have to aim in our meditations, which will endure as long as the man endures. The Atma, it is there, it will not leave us till our lifespan is over. So that sort of truth, holding on to the truth, and that is what will take us to the higher levels of meditation. These are the truths that alone can be universal, and in spite of all the changes that have come to India, as to our social surroundings, our methods of dress, our manner of eating, our modes of worship, these universal truths of the Shrutis, the marvelous Vedantic ideas, stand out in their own sublimity, immovable, unvanquishable, deathless and immortal. So in Swamiji's famous words, shall India die? He asks, India cannot die. We must see to it that India does not die. Because so long as we are able to preserve, even here and there, some living tissues, as we have discussed in our earlier thoughts, when we convert ourselves to living tissues, we will be holding on to this truth. And it is this truth which gives eternal life to India. So that is what we have to be constantly thinking about as we expose ourselves to the jnana vibrations in the jnana sopana. This is a thought which we should keep within us. Discrimination, mumukshutva, and all the good characters which we have discussed. A cow or the mammals, after they take food, later at leisure they will bring out that food and starts chewing to take the essence out of it. So whatever we had been making up in all these days of our satsanga, they should slowly percolate each and every thought of our being. Each and every cell should be open to that light, so that we will be able to absorb that ultimate truth, the ultimate bliss. What truth brings? Bliss. So we have to be careful about that.